John Bunyan once said, "You have not lived until you have done something for someone who can never repay you." So let's dive a little bit deeper into the topic of generosity today. There are very few people who don't like the idea of generosity. We are indeed a species that loves to help others and confront needs when we see them. Unfortunately, there are also very few people who are content with the level of generosity in their lives. Most people I know wish they were able to give more. And while there are a number of reasons that may be the case, sometimes the best solution may be the simplest. To that end, here are a number of simple steps that we can take to become more generous. If you've never given away any money or time, this would be a great way to get started, no matter what your current economic situation is. On the other hand, if you're just hoping to raise the level of generosity in your life, you also find some of these steps to be super relevant and helpful. Here we go. Here are 10 ways to become a more generous person. Number 1, consider the benefits of generosity. Generous people report being happier, healthier, and more satisfied with life than those who don't give. Generosity produces within us a sense that we are capable of making a difference in the world, that we are actively addressing the needs of those around us, and that we are shaping our community into a healthier one. While generosity is typically seen as the opposite of selfish, counting the personal benefits is indeed one of the most important steps that we can take in getting started. Number 2, embrace gratitude. Right now, make a list of all the things in your life for which you are grateful. Your list doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to take much time. Heck, it doesn't even have to be a physical list if you just want to make it up in your head right now. But the point is this: sometimes the most important step you can take to become more generous is to spend more time thinking about what you already have and less time thinking about what you don't. Once you start intentionally thinking that way, you may be surprised just how good you already have it, and you'll become more apt to share your life with others. Number 3, start really small. If you've never given away any money, start by giving away just $1. If you're embarrassed to give away $1, don't be. You've got nothing to worry about. There are plenty of charities online that allow you to give with your credit card, and you'll never cross paths with the people who record your $1 donation. Of course, the point of this exercise is not to report a $1 tax donation on your year-end tax return. The point is to get started. If you feel more comfortable giving 5, 10, or 20, then start there. But no matter what dollar amount you choose, jump right in with something small. You can afford it, and that little push can help build momentum in your life towards more and greater generosity. Number 4, give first. When you receive your next paycheck, make your first expense an act of giving. Oftentimes, we wait to see how much money we have left over before we determine how much we can give away. The problem is that most of the time, after we start spending, there's nothing left over. The habit of spending it all is too deeply ingrained in our lives. So to counteract that cycle, give first. Every payday, write a check for $10 to your local homeless shelter. You just may be surprised how you don't even miss it. Number 5, divert one specific expense. For a set period of time, try 29 days. Divert one specific expense to a charity of your choosing. You might choose to bring a lunch to work for that month, ride your bike to work once a week, or give up Starbucks on Mondays. Maybe Thursdays would be easier. Either way, calculate the money you'll save and then redirect it to a specific charity or cause. Whatever you choose, I recommend picking something that would be fun to give up, something unique that you'll remember for the month. And setting a specific period of time for the experiment should make it more achievable. I have one friend who gave away an extra $225 in 1 month just by giving up Starbucks. Number 6, fund a cause based on your passions. There are countless charities and causes that need your support, and some of them are directly in line with your most compelling passions. So what are you most passionate about? Is it the environment, poverty, religion? Maybe it's world peace, child nutrition, or animal rights. What about education, civil rights, or clean water? Identify what passions already move you, and then find a committed organization around that cause and joyfully help them in their work. In my life, that means we support the Hope Effect with both our finances and our time. It's a nonprofit organization changing how the world cares for orphans. We also support Ryan's Hope, our city's food bank, our local church, and Streetlight, which helps rescue women from human trafficking. These are all issues that Kim and I are passionate about, so giving to their mission just makes sense for us. Number 7, find a person that you believe in. If you find that you are more easily motivated and shaped by the people in your life rather than the organizations around you, use that tendency as a motivation instead. Take careful notice of the people in your life, the ones that you most admire. What organizations and causes do they hold most dear? Who do they support? What makes them passionate about supporting it? And how can you get involved alongside them? Number 8, spend time with people in need. One of the most effective antidotes for non-generosity is to make space in your life for those who actually need your help. After all, it's a very small step to go from knowing somebody in need to actually helping somebody in need. One of the easiest ways to accomplish this is to volunteer one meal at your local homeless shelter. Most homeless shelters readily accept volunteers and have systems in place to get you started. And rubbing shoulders with the poor just may change your impression forever. Number 9, spend time with a generous person. One of the most life-changing conversations I've ever had about generosity occurred when I found the courage to start asking specific questions of the right person. At dinner one time, I remember starting with a conversation with this gentleman. I said, "Have you always been generous?" And I immediately followed that with more questions. When did you become so generous? How did it start? How do you decide where your money goes? What advice would you give someone who wants to get started? It was a life-changing meal, and the other guy paid for it. Go figure. Number 10, live a more minimalist life. Intentionally decide to own less. Oh, sure, living a minimalist life doesn't automatically make you a more generous person, but it will provide the space necessary to make it possible. You'll spend less money on things at the department store. You'll have more time and energy to help others. And the intentionality that emerges in your life will help you discover the need for generosity. Minimalism has resulted in many positive changes in my life. Becoming more generous has been one of the most important. Generosity rarely happens by chance. Instead, it is an intentional decision that we need to make in our lives. But it doesn't need to be as difficult as many people think. Sometimes starting with the simple steps is the best step that we can take right now.